Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our evening edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars Life Eat Spoilers. This video contains a discussion on the word untouchable, which is really the word of the week.
Sure is.
Can we bring a Muppet in or something to explain this to everyone? 'Cause
Yep.
it feels like we're kind of in that direction. There's questions about it. We also have a little bit of campaigning, and then, of course, one of my personal favorite things, Daviding in the house, which includes
David.
throwing things at the wall and seeing whatever will stick.
Yep, I'm kind of wondering if because he's gotten a power, because he's feeling a little bit safe, that maybe he's going to put himself out there a little more.
Maybe that's it. I have long tried and have failed to get into the mind of David, but we will still try our best here. Before we go any further, though, if you guys do like this video, subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you to everybody who has. This has been a very, very crazy and busy day. And also, give us a like, support us further. Check those links to the store and our Patreon, where we have live chats and a number of other cool things that we're checking out.
All right, so let's talk about this untouchable thing, because we know that Christmas has put Devon and Bayleigh on the block because Bayleigh used that word about Devon, that is her untouchable.
Yes, and this is the thing, is that we've already gone over this today, that Christmas has repeatedly said this, but Bayleigh and Devon, a big source of their frustration is that they certainly, and understandably, believe that there are other duos in the house and they are being unfairly scapegoated because of just one word. But a little while ago, not today, but Bayleigh and Christmas, they had their own conversation sort of about some of this, and ultimately, Bayleigh wanted to find out who Christmas's untouchable was in the game. So she tried to get that information out, and eventually it kind of came to this conclusion, in a rather muted sense, but still, that Ian may be Christmas's untouchable.
And it makes sense. She's trying to take away from what she has going on with Tyler and her alliance, and she doesn't want to give anything away, so she picked Ian. And then that kind of adds in with the security suite thing where Ian became the +1, so it becomes a bit more of a believable thing. However, now Ian has found out about this, and he is trying to sort of fish for, what does this mean? What is the definition of untouchable to Christmas?
I love everything about this. The way that Ian proposed it was like, Christmas, I was wondering, what is the definition of untouchable to you?
Yeah.
And you could just see the wheels sort of turning in it, or where is he trying to go with this?
Yeah.
And eventually he's just like, I've heard from a couple of people that, this may have been said about us, and, I wouldn't put you up if I was HOH, and, I know we're pretty close or whatever, but...
But untouchable?
It's like, does this mean a final 2 deal? Or, anything else? It's one of those, weird sort of, things where it's a high school relationship and they don't know what to call it yet, and they're trying to, figure out the right label for it.
Yep. Are we untouchable?
Are we not?
Where do we stand?
I feel like we're a second away here from getting into a Friends, we were on a break sort of terminology debate here, but it is... Ian is... Okay, this whole conversation was just weird, and Christmas is just... She ain't having a good week. A lot of it is her own doing. A lot of it is also her throwing her own I'm sad party.
Yeah, and I think production probably realizes that the house is very tense. This has been a very sort of tense season all around. So it seems like, tinfoil hat, that maybe production has suggested to Nicole to try to get together a Sloppies game where they all kind of get together and have these games all about the Sloppies box.
It was so... Okay, maybe this all did just come about because Nicole wanted to do something fun, and she and Devon orchestrated it, and whatever else. Maybe this is not a tinfoil hat thing at all, but I am putting on more tinfoil on this hat than I have ever put on before. Production did not want, later this week, a show that was all about Tyler threatening to quit, Christmas versus Bayleigh and Devon. They're just like, no, here's what we need instead.
Yeah.
You guys doing a Whose Line Is It Anyway? Create the best Sloppies fake cereal jingle while Davon is a host, and Tyler, who at one point says, because I am America's favorite, I will be the voice of America, which I know you were kind of joking and you were not taking it seriously, Tyler, but it is, let's inflate a little bit of the air out of the balloon there.
Yeah, the jingle thing, I don't know, it can be fun, but yeah, it's just kind of like a bad Wild 'N Out episode.
I give neither one of them the award because I'm pretty sure one of their jingles, it was basically, Sloppies, they do bad things to your nether regions when you are sick. Like, that was it. We are now resorting into poop humor.
We're back into poop humor. Yeah, no, we've had a lot of that this season.
We've had a lot of that. So here are your options for Thursday's show now. You can either have Tyler threatening to quit in production controversy or poop. Pick your choice.
They will pick poop.
There you go, everyone. You are welcome. That happened. We will try to never mention any of this again, other than that I kind of want Davon to, like, host a game show or something. Like, I legit think she would actually be good at it.
I think she's just really a fun person. So when fun stuff happens, like with all these punishments and stuff, she's like the first person that's right in there to be like, all right, what are we doing here with this?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, this was all extraordinarily dumb, and there was a lot of just other randomness, like a game possibly about eggs, but do we want to use the eggs, and like all of that sort of, but it was a nice little break from having to spend the last 24 hours dealing with constant drama and Christmas trying to, act as though she has done nothing wrong, and all of this other just garbage that has unfolded.
All right, so let's get into the David clown car and see where it takes us now, because David is trying to make some moves. He thinks he has a read on some stuff that's only kind of partially right.
David, okay, this is what I think it is that David had been saying a lot earlier on in the game that he wanted to make it to jury. He wanted to have that spot. It was important to him. Congratulations, David. As long as Big Brother doesn't change the rules and all of this, you have probably made it to jury. And so I think David is now like, all right, let's do this. Yeah. Let's play.
Motivation now that he's made it to his goal. Plus, he's got these passes coming up where he can take someone off the block, including himself.
Yeah.
So he's in a really good spot right now with not much to lose.
So now he is going to the likes of Enzo and Bayleigh and Davon and sort of disclosing that he has seen Nicole, Ian, Danny, Cody get together and talk, and they all wait to different intervals of time before getting into the room together. He has even given them a name. The Four Horsemen. David, Big Brother 5 says hello.
Yeah.
Not that I expect David to know Big Brother 5.
No, I don't know how much he's watched really at all, considering that Ovi was kind of like, David, do your research.
I'm not sure David knew Big Brother 21 either at this point, but
no.
David, this is the thing. As much as fun as I have with David, I appreciate him being there at this point because he is bringing us unintentional comedy.
He is.
It's not like he's actually that far off with this either.
No, he's not. Like, Ian's not part of that group, but everyone else is. Like, that is... And wall yellers have yelled some of this anyway, so it's not really, like, that far of a reach here.
Yeah, and even if you want to throw Ian in there, and whatever, sort of side alliance you want to attach to him, well, I still think he would probably be on the bottom of it. I don't think people, as smart as it would be to try to gun for Ian, are gonna gun for Ian right now, but I think David, he needs the attention at as many different places as humanly possible.
Yep.
Other than Memphis, who I am pretty sure at the moment is not actually physically capable of winning anything other than like a memory comp.
Yeah, and we had Bayleigh doing some campaigning today, and one of the people she sort of campaigned to is Memphis.
And this is the campaign to Memphis, which is also hilarious, where she basically said to him, I don't have time for you if I'm HOH. You might as well have just said, Memphis, you're useless. You can't win anything. Nobody is really threatened by you. I'm not coming after you. Keep me in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think people feel that way, but it's another thing to kind of suggest it or say that to his face.
It may not be good gameplay, but it was funny, and I will take funny at this given point. And
yeah.
I think the thing is, ironically, I think Memphis is probably one of the people who would be the most inclined to want to keep Bayleigh around anyway. I don't think she's got a huge chance, but she does, I think Enzo is kind of partial to her. I think he likes her. I think Memphis is someone, but I think in the end, especially after these last couple of days, if Christmas wants Bayleigh out, I think these people are probably just all going to fall in line with it in the end.
Yeah, I think after that fight and with how negative the house has been this season, I don't know that people are going to want to keep Bayleigh there just because now there's so much tension between her and Christmas. Do they want to continue living in this type of a situation? So I think that fight may have just sealed it for Bayleigh, not because they don't like her or because they even want her out. I think they just don't want to have any other fights like that.
And that's the thing. It's like, I don't even think it's necessarily they want to help Christmas get what they want. I just think that they don't want to have to deal with Christmas anymore in some sort of negative capacity.
Yeah.
And, if that is her target, that is her target. They can get rid of Bayleigh and then just try to move forward from there.
Yeah.
The other part of this that I think is kind of interesting, and this is where I think it's going to be fascinating to see some of where these campaigns go, is that, Bayleigh, she's got a pretty good life outside the game. Swaggy has talked on Twitter about a Tesla. It seems like they're doing well in the world. And
yeah, they want us all to know.
so I just feel like with all of this in mind, and with Bayleigh even sort of saying that she's got kind of a luxurious life in her campaigning, I think there is going to be sort of an emotional sort of perspective here where you have Davon who, she's raising a child. She is someone who maybe need comes in here at some point. I don't necessarily think so, but I think it's going to be factored into at least maybe some of the campaigns we hear from here.
Yeah, and I think Bayleigh knows that if she leaves, she is going home to a good life. They have money, they have love, they're getting ready for their wedding. Like, everything is all pretty good for her. So if she doesn't stay, she's going home to something pretty great.
So yeah, I think Bayleigh, she's going to have a good life. She's going to be fine. I think in the end, she wants to campaign because I think she does want to stay. I don't think that Bayleigh is not pulling a Tyler here by any means. But
no.
I think if you were to ask Bayleigh, would she rather be the first person on the jury next week and have to be there for months on end or go home to Swaggy and live her life? I feel like she would probably choose go home to Swaggy and live her life.
Yeah, and Swaggy said, I think it was a couple days ago, that he was feeling that same where he's like, don't go to jury, just come home to me. I'm sure he wants his woman back and he wants his life back and he doesn't want her just sitting in a house for 50 whatever days.
So, in the end, let's hope that this day just ends on a little bit more of a peaceful note. We've got the game of Sloppies.
Yep.
We have a couple of strategy conversations. Let's just all hope that maybe some of these people can take a deep breath, figure out where things go from there. There is still a little bit of time left to campaign, and maybe we'll have some more drama to talk about eventually, but
if I have a prediction, I do think that Bayleigh is probably going to go home.
yeah, I think it is an uphill battle for her, especially with some of the women wanting to work with Davon, and plus Christmas, that's a driving force. But we'll wrap up this evening edition now. But for you guys, what do you think is going to happen through the rest of the day? 4 Horsemen idea from David. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Ian bringing
David.
up Untouchable to Christmas. Share all your thoughts, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further, check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.